Hello, everybody. Welcome to eLearnChat, where talk, it's knowledge. I'm Rick Zanotti, and today I am joined by, and he's been waiting for a while because we had a cancellation last time, we couldn't make it. It's Ravi Pratap Singh from Learnnovators. He is one of the co-founders of Learnnovators, and he's joining us from India today, not too far from Bangalore. How are you today, Ravi?
I'm doing great, Rick. Hope you're doing fine as well.
I am doing fine. I'm glad you could join us, and I'm sorry we had to cancel that last time. We had some problems, but everything seems to be okay right now. Let's run our intro, and then we'll be right back. And we are back. So, Ravi, what does Learnnovators do?
I mean, we design custom e-learning solutions for the workplace, and that's what we've been doing. We've been around since 2003, so the 14th year. So we create custom learning solutions.
So, custom learning solutions. What application tools do you folks use?
So typically, I mean, we're not married to any tool, but in the last 2-3 years, I think the ones we're using the most are Storyline and Articulate Storyline and Adobe Captivate.
Okay.
We also use a bit of Lectora once in a while. But yeah, those are three tools which we use. And apart from that, I mean, we've used, like I said, we're not really specific on tools, because sometimes, clients come to us and say, look, I mean, we have an internal team which works on something like, say, Elearning, for example. And then we have 5-6 people in house, and we want you to create something in Zydeem, so that if there's any updation or upgradation, then our internal team will take care of that, rather than have you guys do it. In which case, I mean, the team is pretty smart enough to be able to quickly ramp up the skills and work on that tool. So over the years, I mean, just in the last couple of years, we worked on some tools which we had not worked on earlier. Like I said, Zydeem, there's something called Composica, we've done stuff on iSpring. So yeah, tools, we do work on different types of tools all the time.
It's the only way to do it, because one tool just doesn't do it all nowadays.
Absolutely. And then we have something like Camtasia, where you use videos, then we kind of use Camtasia. I'm sure you guys are very, very familiar with Camtasia, possibly. And so we do use multiple types of tools.
That sounds good. Now, how did you get into? You're one of the co-founders. How did you wind up getting into the e-learning arena?
Actually, before starting Learnnovators, I was working with two of the largest IT training companies in India.
Okay.
I mean, they were probably they were the largest in the world, actually, because when I left, they had close to 4,000 training centers in about 53, 54 countries. So I started, just before Learnnovators, I was there. I was in franchising, actually. I was heading the business development, international business development. So I was setting up these IT training centers across the globe, actually. And then in 2003, I thought, along with the co-founders, we thought maybe the future looks like it's to be online and digital. So that's how we moved on to setting up Learnnovators. And we are at it since then.
Now, is your background in education or IT?
Neither, actually.
Neither.
I did zoology.
Zoology, that's good.
And then, of course, I did do something in IT. I did a 1-year diploma course. I mean, that was the time when people were IT was becoming popular. I did the regular basic and COBOL and all that.
Yep.
And I did about 3-month internship in programming as a programmer. I couldn't last beyond 3 months. And I said, look, it's not for me. And then I stumbled upon. There was, I don't know if you're familiar, but this is 89, 90. There was a computer called ZX Spectrum. It was a home computer for kids. It was a British company, actually. And so I got into selling that by accident, actually. And then I was there for a couple of years and selling ZX Spectrum computers. Basically, that was just a keyboard. You would plug it onto the television, monitor, and the software was actually audio cassettes. That's how the software came, and it had a 32 KB RAM.
Yep.
And if you had the money, you would upgrade it to 64 KB. So I kind of started off for the first couple of years selling ZX Spectrum computers, and then from there on, got to IT training. So I mean, funnily, I've been in the education space throughout. So it's been almost 25 years now.
That is funny because I think you're one of the first people I've met from India who actually studied zoology and got into the tech world. Just the opposite, which is fun.
Yeah, but then I'm dealing with people all the time, so we're all Homo sapiens, so zoology still comes in handy, I guess.
It does. It does. That's funny. But that's good. It's funny. I don't think any one of us ever came to e-learning or training directly from that career. We came from all different areas. Mine was business administration.
Okay.
But I had a minor in computer, not science, but computer information systems. And it was sort of fun. So I was a programmer for about 20-something years. I actually got into management pretty quickly after programming for, I don't know, probably 10 years. And then we got into e-learning kind of by accident. We couldn't find good people here anymore. Where we are, which is very hard to find people. And so we said, let's make a change. And there was a Dilbert cartoon, and it showed Dilbert saying, I'm going to change my career. And he walks away, and he comes back in the next scene, says 4 hours later, he goes, I'm now a multimedia expert. And we kind of did that in not 4 hours, but we changed from being an IT services company, mainly doing software integration, to an e-learning company. And it was an interesting change, and it was fun. We had a good time. And I can't say it was a midlife crisis. I think it was just more, what do we do that's different? What do we do that's still growing, exciting, can do something different? And the whole training and learning arena is fun. And just like you, we work on a lot of the different tools. And that's why we say don't get stuck on one tool, because they don't all do what they should be doing. It's a little more limited now. And so the more tools you have, the better off you are. And and that's interesting. What kind of trends do you see right now in the e-learning industry? Things that affect you, things that you see as changing?
Yeah, I think possibly mobile learning is something which is hotting up. I mean, we've been talking about it for a while, but I think the last couple of years, more and more customers are coming forward and trying to get into mobile learning. But the challenge there is, of course, that the organizations are also very finicky about allowing their employees to use their own mobile devices.
Yep.
For whatever reason. I mean, there could be proprietary information and confidentiality and compliance and stuff like that. But then over the last couple of years, we find that many more organizations are adopting mobile learning. So, and that could change the game, obviously, because but for the fact that you have access on your hand, literally, internet access, and people carry their devices all the time. So mobile learning is something which really is hot enough.
Now you work with.
What I would probably talk about is gamified learning.
Oh, gamified.
Again, over the past 18 months or so, we've done a fair bit of gamified learning. And of course, one thing is that people come to us saying, look, we want something to be gamified. No, it's not necessarily always the best idea. It's for us to actually, go back and tell the client, look, yes, great idea, or maybe it's not the solution which will solve your learning problem. But then, yeah, we have had the opportunity to create some good gamified solutions. And the best part is we're using tools like Articulator and to create gamified work. One project we did recently, we've done. See, one more thing when we talk about tools, I mean, we don't necessarily stick to what the tool does. We try and push the boundaries of the tool itself.
Yeah.
Using stuff like JavaScript, or HTML, and stuff like that, or even Tin Can API. So this particular project we did recently. We created leaderboards. There was an online, live scorecard, and then we had the opportunity to also work on the LMS. They used our LMS as well. So Tin Can API was used effectively. So it is pretty exciting. So when you see the course, people don't believe actually it's a storyline code built on articulate storyline. But as I mentioned, it's not only about the tool, what the tool can do or design to do, but how can we push the boundaries to the tool itself and then create stuff which is interesting. So yeah, I think I would pick mobile learning and gamified learning at this point. Uh, you know, but going forward, we are talking about AR and VR and all that. No, I don't see. We are not actually doing anything of that sort. We have been experimenting on augmented reality and virtual reality, but we've not actually done any work for a client yet.
And one of the things is you folks are worldwide. You have customers all over the world?
Yeah, so I mean, 95% of our customers are across the world. About 5% are in India.
Okay.
And
Now,
across the globe, typically, I mean, North America and Europe and Australia. I mean, these are three geographies we do most of our work in.
so are you seeing any differences in the countries in the kinds of technology they apply? For example, I know here in the U.S. a lot of people talk about mobile learning and gaming, but it's a lot of talk. Not everybody's doing it. Are you seeing differences in Europe or other places? Like, who's moving the fastest forward?
See, funnily, I think Australia is moving very fast. I may be wrong there, but all the clients I talk to, looks like Australia is moving faster than Europe and US in terms of VR and AR and stuff like that. A lot of exciting things happening there. Whereas I've not really seen much at the same pace in either the UK or the US. In India, I think again mobile and gamification, gamified courses
Yeah.
are picking up definitely. Yeah. So that's what I think. Asia Pac, especially Australia, a lot of traction in terms of AR and VR, especially Singapore and Australia.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen too much in terms of. I see it at the trade shows where everybody talks about augmented reality and other things like that, but I haven't seen too much in practice. At least, let's say in banking, in finance, in insurance, manufacturing. I haven't really seen too much, but I think that's an untapped market, especially in areas like manufacturing, where you could show people how to use equipment, how to do things. That's, I think, where the future goes there. We just haven't seen too much yet, other than a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk about it, but
Yeah, I think Australia. I think the defense is using a lot. I mean, what I've heard, which is a great idea. I mean, the army and the navy using
Right.
stuff like augmented reality. So presumably, the Australian defense is using AR, and
Okay.
yeah, I have not heard much. See, some industries, I know in the US, a couple of industries are using augmented reality, but haven't done anything in that space yet.
no, and definitely, like you say, a lot of the military is using it, probably more than almost anybody else, especially in augmented reality and simulations, because they have to almost just to keep technologically on top of everything. But it's an interesting world when it comes to where e-learning is going and how fast it's changing.
And I think the best part about the industry is, I mean, we get to learn so much. I mean, one is the technology or the tool itself, and apart from that, I mean, maybe because we create custom e-learning solutions,
Yes.
and we work across industries, so we get to learn so much on a daily basis. Whether
Yeah.
it's automotive, whether it's nuclear energy, whether it's banking, and
Yeah.
pretty much way. So that keeps at least me on my toes and keeps me excited and
It is fun. It is fun because that's what a lot of people don't see. They say, well, e-learning is boring. I go, that's because you work in one company, you never see anything else. When you do things like we do, like you do, you see everything. And it's more fun that way because that keeps you excited, it keeps you motivated, and you learn the industries, and then you become a leader in what they do. And I think that's one of the keys, that to understand the software, or actually the applications as much as they do, then it makes a big difference.
Absolutely. If I may take a minute, we did something interesting on for cattle loading. Can you believe that? A few years ago, how to load cattle onto vehicles, taking them to the abattoir. So apparently there are laws which say that, look, I mean, there are 4 different types of vehicles in which only in those vehicles you can load the cattle. And then based on the size of the vehicle and size of the cattle, you have certain number of rows and columns to actually load them. And there was a training there because it's compliance training. You need to follow that, and not pretty interesting. And the challenge was that these cattle handlers are illiterate.
Right,
They're not
right.
literate. So which means that, and it had to be implemented across India for about 5,000 across 5,000 villages.
Huh.
So that was a huge challenge because India speaks hundreds of languages actually,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously they didn't have the budget to localize them in different languages. So we had to think through a way of implementing it, and all they had was these kiosks, which they said, okay, we take it to different villages, and we want to make something on these kiosks. So we came up with a game, and this is a few years ago before gamification became a big thing. We had created a simple game where they just see the visuals, and the villager, illiterate, he can recognize the vehicle size and the type, and then recognizes the cattle, and then clicks and drags it. So it was a huge success. But what I'm saying is, you get to learn even those kind of things. Which one doesn't even know.
That's fascinating. That reminds me, we did this wasn't a learning project, it was an IT project, but one time we did one up in Washington State, and it was for a company called Washington Beef. I don't think they exist anymore, but it was a measuring system for how they got the beef as it's coming across, and you have to be careful there because you could get hit as it's coming by, and then how they cut everything up into little pieces and how it all gets labeled, and most of it, 90%, went to Japan. And it was really fascinating how that whole system was, and it was similar to what you do because we didn't see the front end part where they actually moved the cattle and everything. We saw the back end, and it was a very interesting place to do work. A lot of messy shoes. Let me put it that way. It was different. What would you say one of the most exciting projects you've done, or different projects in the last several years?
This is one. Recently we've done something. We are doing something on again that's in India. Something on what we call the Panchayat Raj. Again, this the villages. There's something called the third government. The central government, like the federal government, then the US, then you have the state government, and then there's supposed to be a third government, which basically is for the villages to be governing themselves. That's something I've heard a lot personally, but I never knew it was so intricate. And it's about the constitution of the country and how this is a non-profit organization which is taking this Panchayat Raj training to villages across the country. And then when we it's completely video based again, full of videos. That is an interesting project we're working on right now. The initial set of courses are out there, and that's pretty interesting. Apart from that, almost every other project, because of the fact that we're doing different work for different clients, it's interesting. And the gamified one I talked about, we talked about this tin can API and stuff. Very interesting because again, it's for agents, of a call center. They're based in India, but it's an American company. And these guys, the company actually buys bad debt from banks and credit card companies. And then you have these 3,500 odd people sitting in India trying to call up customers in the US and wanting them to pay up the outstanding dues.
Yeah.
And it's compliance training because obviously you can say certain things, you can't say certain things on the phone.
Yes.
Or the company gets sued for millions of dollars. And compliance trainings are normally the most boring trainings. And that's how we thought it's a good idea to gamify it. And it's pretty interesting because the game itself is it's story based, and you have the typical the prince sent to exile and he coming back to reclaim his kingdom, and there are points, there are badges and the works. So that's something which was again interesting. We've implemented recently. Another one which comes to mind is where we use QR codes. Actually, that we launched about a couple of years ago.
Okay.
We use QR codes. For the e-learning program, where there's the CNC machines, they had a problem and we had this QR code stuck in different parts. So when the guy is actually commissioning the system, he doesn't have to go through an entire manual or an e-learning course. If he gets stuck anywhere, he's got a mobile phone on his hand, which is supplied by the manufacturer. All he has to do is scan the QR code on that particular part. If there are 20 steps to it, and he's familiar with the first 4 steps, and fifth one he gets stuck in, he just has to scan that QR code on that particular part, and you have a small micro video running telling him, look, you need to do 1, 2, 3, 5 things. And then if he wants, there's also a PDF, which is very simple, short, couple of paragraphs explaining the step, and then he can move forward and skip the rest of the steps. So this is exactly what we're talking about: performance support. We're talking about learning in the moment of need. That was a very interesting project. It won quite a few awards across a Brand Mall Gold. We won Australia LearnX and stuff like that.
That's great.
That's what these are the ones which comes to mind immediately.
Oh, that's great. Now, if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. Another website learnnovators.com is there. And yeah, I mean, I'm reachable. My phone is on the website.
Okay.
Because I don't sleep at all most of the time. So I'm the only guy who picks up the phone and the second ring. So I think they said, okay, best to have your number there. So yeah, I'm reachable.
That sounds good. Well, we will be putting all of your information on the show notes so people can have access to it. So we'll put your website and other information. And are you going to DevLearn by any chance in Las Vegas?
Yeah, unfortunately not this year.
Okay.
I've been there a few times, but this year I had to give it a miss. Yeah, not going this year.
Okay. Well, I was hoping I could meet you there. Maybe we'll meet you next year if you come out there.
Absolutely.
Or one of the other shows. Do you go to Learning Solutions?
Yes, we've been going to Learning Solutions, but again, this year we're not going to Learning Solutions. It's coming up, I think, in a week or two.
No, I'm thinking of Learning Solutions. Next year is in...
Next year, January or February. Yeah.
Yes, I think March, actually. March. That's the eLearning Guild one, or the Learning Guild one.
Sure.
So that's good. Well, Ravi, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing some of what you do, and hope this helps you a little bit in terms of, and by the way, for those watching right now, it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning, Ravi's time. So we are keeping him up late today. So we appreciate you staying up late for us, and we'll have the show up probably by today or tomorrow, and definitely thank you much for coming on. We wish you great luck in the business and success, and we'll have all of the information for Ravi in the show notes. So if you want to get a hold of him, do it there, and we'll also put in your LinkedIn contact info, so you'll have that too. So Ravi, again, a pleasure meeting you. Hope we meet soon in person, and have a great day. Thank you much for being here.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. And for all you people watching right now, we will see you next week on eLearnChat. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks. Bye-bye.